Hello friends, today we are going to start the first chapter of our CS subject, that is Computer Science Standard 11th. The name of the chapter is Computer Science Overview. This will give you a brief introduction about your computer system. Already you people are very well familiar with computer system. It's not new to you at all. But though CBSE and NCERT has introduced this chapter just to revise back your concept in case if some topics are left out. So let us proceed ahead and see what are our major topics we are going to cover today. Today in this video, first and foremost, we are going to see a small introduction that what today computers are able to do, what are the limitations of our human being and where computers have exceed in its own way. The next topic we are going to cover is why do we need the computer system. Third topic we are going to cover is what are the major characteristics of computer system. Next we are going to look is the difference between the two terms data and information. Very often the student get confused between the two terms data and information. So today we will clarify it very detail that what exactly the difference between the two of the term is with the examples. Next, going ahead, the next topic to be covered will be what are the major components of your computer system. Although we are using our computer, to use the computer is not new for everybody, but when we say what does your computer comprise of, when we ask the students name the major components of computer, they are not able to answer them at all. You should know them very well. The last and the final topic to be covered will be your IPO cycle. What is IPO cycle? We will look that. So let us go ahead. First topic given is where are the various topics characteristics of your information system. First, as you see on the screen, it is accuracy. How is accuracy measured? Accuracy is how much accurate computer is able to give the answer. Is computer able to give 100% answer? The first question is that. The next is when we compare it with human being, how much we are perfect? We are not at all perfect. If we were suppose 100% perfect, then everybody would be scoring 100% marks in examination in all the major subjects, but we don't score it. Is it right? I'm sure everybody will agree. None of us are able to score 100% marks, so we are not accurate, and so are we not able to get the 100% marks. So now, how is computers accuracy? What is the rate of computers accuracy? The computer's accuracy is 100%, but the condition is you give 100% accurate input to it. Only if your input is correct, the computer will give you your output also correct. That is what we call it as in computer language as garbage in, garbage out. Only one condition computer will fail to give you incorrect answer, that is when your input itself is wrong. Garbage in, as I said, gigo, garbage in. If you give wrong input, suppose you wanted to add the numbers 15 plus 20. Now in the keyboard, if you were typing 1 5 15, 1 5, while typing 5, by mistake you ended up typing 6, because 5 and 6 are next to each other. There is possibility that you ended up typing, instead of 15 you ended up typing 16. So what will happen? Instead of 15 you ended up typing 16, and you were expecting answer 15 plus 25 60, but finally what you got on the screen is 61. So that is the case what we call as garbage in, garbage out. You gave wrong input, so what you got is wrong output. Otherwise the accuracy rate of computer is 100%. The next time point is timelessness, that is We are able to make the decisions of an organizations based on the data of present. You should know that today computers are able to take the decisions, many major decisions on their own. How do computer help in taking the decision, and it saves our time. A mall is there running with the online shopping. As soon as a transaction is done, a person ends up buying the bill. Immediately, the number of items bought by the customer will be deducted from the stock inventory. The number of items which you have purchased will be deducted from the inventory stock. So that many items are already deducted in the company. Backside, the person who is looking after the inventory stock will immediately come to know that yes, my this stock is coming to the end point, so now I have to buy the new stock. That is how the companies take decision. Like this way, it is not only the mall, but at many places the computer help us to take the decisions before the time. Computer will give you the correct decision before the time comes. Third point given is completeness. What is completeness? It gives an effective presence of all the most relevant and useful information for a particular decision. Computer will give you a complete guidelines of what is supposed to be taken. Third is cost effectiveness. We know very well that the computer reduces the cost to a greater extent. Places we have installed computers where lot of human work is eliminated and computers have replaced many things. So this is how computers are reducing. Third thing is understandable. It is very easy to understand by the user. We type in the handwritten form which maybe not be properly understandable, but things coming in the computer are understandable. Next is the definition. What is computer? It is saying a computer is made up of many parts such as peripheral devices, secondary memory, CPU, or otherwise you can define it as it is a definition of hardware and software. Then there are few advantages listed out. What are they? First thing is multitasking. What is multitasking? Multitasking means computer can perform various different types of tasks, from gaming to animations to anything. We human beings have limitations, like we are not good in all type of task. I as a computer teacher is good in computer. Another teacher is good in her own subject, accountancy. Another teacher is good in something else. Everybody has their own choice, but computer does not have any such foundations. Computer can do animations, graphics, Excel calculations, anything. Computer does not say no to anything. Next thing written is speed. What is the speed of computer? Computer is able to perform million instructions per second. If you are able to give that much input, you should be speed enough to give that much input. If your input is good, computer will give you output also that much good. And next, the supercomputers are, their speeds are measured in terms of BIPS. There are two units written, so don't get confused what is MIPS and what is BSPS. Normal computers, their speeds are MIPS, and supercomputers, their speed is BIPS, billion instructions per second. Then next is it helps in the productivity, that is already discussed. By computers will able to produce things. We are using in the manufacturing units for manufacturing everything. Next is storage capacity. Being a human being, our brain is able to store the limited amount of data. Today I'm speaking for 20 or whatever minutes of time. From that you will be able to remember few things we will forget it. But to computer there is no such limitation. Right now, end of this, I will save the video and computer will remember it for permanent. So that is how we differentiate our storage capacity and the computer storage capacity. Accuracy already discussed. Next point is connected. Today computer is able to connect every student with teachers, wherever you people are sitting, wherever I am sitting. But we are able to connect with all the social medias, and many more platforms are there. So this is how. What are the disadvantages? There are of course certain limitations also. Today, although we say we have reached to the artificial intelligence, computer is able to make certain decisions on its own, but not to the 100% as human being. Computer has us. Initially we were saying zero IQ level, zero IQ level, but today it is not zero IQ level. To certain level IQ level has reached, but not 100% as computer is able to. Next is of course we are getting addicted to computers. After 5-10 minutes, if we are not touching mobile, we feel something is missing. Next point written is face to face communication or conversation is getting lower day by day. Although there are 5 members in the room, they are not coming in the hall and enjoying as we used to do earlier. They are passing text messages. Of course, there is lack of physical exercise, so only CBSE has started introducing HPE exercise. Next is viruses. Computer has damaged lot of things. Next point written is spams. Through online media, you must be reading daily on the newspapers that there are a lot of frauds happening everywhere, whether it is net banking or even in the online teaching also through students data. Zoom, lot of data are hacked, so spam is happening in the every sector of internet. Next is privacy violation. Very easily the data of the users are being misused. Today we are asked to provide our online data, whether it is Aadhaar card or PAN card or anything. We provide it and then other people they misuse it. So this is how our privacy is also violated. Next is harm to the environment. Any digital gadget, when it gets damaged, mobile does not last for more than 4 to 5 years, but when it is unused, we just discard it and buy a new one, but we don't take care of how it is being destroyed in the environment. Any IC or circuit of computer or any other electronic gadget, it might be a television or computer or mobile, they are not getting destroyed so easily, they are not recyclable. Of course they are causing lot of harm to the environment, we must take care of it. Next is lack of work for the people. That is what I discussed earlier also. Today the computers are used for manufacturing everything, for doing lot of work, so there is a lack of insecurity in the job also. Maybe future there are scope that there will be lack of unemployment in the future. Next is health risk. Of course right now I am holding a mobile in my hand, sitting like this way, so it is causing problem to the people with their elbows, eyes, neck, back. These are the few parts that is causing lot of problems. Then I was saying in the we will discuss the topic called what is the difference between data and information. Very often these two terms are used frequently, but then you should have a clear understanding what is data and what is information. Data is raw facts which are not systematically organized and they do not have any meaning on their own, whereas information is systematically organized and information is used for making a proper decision. There is one diagram also later coming on which will give a better idea. There is lot of whole diagram given over here, that it is derived from the Latin word called datum, and this is derived from the Latin word called informare. Then what next? There is something written called over here, it is difficult to understand, and then next, information is extremely easy to understand. Next, data may not be in the proper order. You may write down few points. Right now I am speaking, you may be having a pen and a book in your hand, you may be noting down few points as I am saying. So what you are jotting down right now in the notebook is your data. End of the period, when you will properly organize everything and you will make a proper notes of it in your notebook, then it will become your data. There is one example written, you survey the data. Suppose if you are going up and you collect the data, you keep collecting from the people, that is your data, and at last when you systematically prepare a census report of it, it becomes your information. There are examples coming, I'll show you. What here written is computer needs data and human needs information. Can you see on the keyboard there is 0 1 0 0 0 1 combinations of zeros and 1 written. So it is written that computer needs data. What is that? Computer understands everything in the form of zeros and 1. So what is passed from the keyboard is 0 1 0 1 0 1. Computer will understand everything in terms of zeros and 1, which is required by computer. So we will feed data to the computer in the form of zeros and 1, and at last what will come on the computer screen, that is your compute process data, which is of course not in the zeros and ones form, it is in the human understandable form. That is called your information. See, this is one example written 1710. This is one number written. If I just write this number, you will of course not get what is this number written. It can be anything, it can be an amount to be paid or something, but then with a dollar sign written and exactly written, yes, this is an accountancy for the website, it is your output. This is the difference. Again, there is one example written 5/10/07. You may get an idea, yes, this is indicating a date, but the date of what? It can be today's date, it can be a date of birth of somebody, it can be the manufacturing date of something, expiry date of something, but you need to indicate clearly what is the date, this date is of what. At last downside it is written, this is the date of your final exam. So this is the clear indication. From this, when you read this, you clearly understand this is your final date of exam. And again, one more example, $1 can be anything. $1 can be what? It can be your profit earned from something, it can be your cost price of something, or you can be at the loss. So downside it is written, it is the price of 1 kg sugar. This is how we differentiate the data and information. Data is not systematically written, earlier it was there in the slide. Data is not meaningful and information is properly meaningful. Now there is another topic called block diagram of computer. I said in the earlier, when we asked students the question, what are the major components of your computer, they are not able to answer at all. So what are the major components of computer? Your computer comprises of 5 major components, that is input, from there it goes ahead to processing. Another third component is your storage, fourth one is output, and next one is your communication device. Or other ways you might have learned in your lower classes, it comprises only of 3 devices, that is called as data, input, output and CPU. Data goes from input, it moves to the CPU, and from CPU it goes ahead to the output. But now you are no more in the lower classes, so you should know that it comprises of 5 major components. And whenever we say storage unit, you should say that it is a secondary storage device. You can see in the block diagram, it comprises of secondary storage. The storage unit will be further covered in the forthcoming chapters. Now to emphasize more on this, I would like to say that you can see there are 2 types of flow lines over here. Downside, see in the right side corner there are 2 arrow sign coming. One is the dotted one and the other one is the dark arrow sign. The dark arrow sign is called as the data flow. Another one, which is the dotted one, it is called as control flow. What is the difference between the data flow and the control flow? Data flow indicates from where will data move, from which unit it will come, and later it will proceed ahead to which unit. That is important. And control flow will look after that who is having control over which unit. As you can see, it is starting from data. Right now what we discussed, before input unit, you can see outside it is written data. So we will begin with the data, and at last on the right side you can see it is information. return. See here, we start with data and at last we get the processed output. That is what we were discussing earlier. We as user will give the data to the computer and at last the output device will give you the processed output. Now somewhere over here in the diagram you will see there are single unidirectional arrow sign. See this one, from input to primary storage the arrow sign is unidirectional, whereas over here you can see the arrow sign from secondary storage to primary storage, it is bidirectional, which means from secondary storage to primary also it is coming and back from primary to secondary also it is coming. What is difference between the unidirectional and the bidirectional, two directional? Same way here in the control unit also you can see it is bidirectional. From primary to control unit it is coming and back from control unit to primary also it is coming. But from here primary to output it is again unidirectional. What are this indicating? Once the user has fed the input, it will move to your primary storage. Which is your primary storage? Primary storage is your RAM and ROM. From RAM and ROM it will go ahead to either the control unit or it will move ahead to the secondary storage, because the flows are going both the ways. See, from primary storage it can go to control unit also and it can go to your secondary storage also. So as soon as user has given the data, first of all it will move to your primary memory, that is your RAM. Then it will go ahead to the control unit. Here what is the role of control unit? Control unit will decide, like the name itself says, control unit takes the whole control of the data. It will decide to whom it has to send further. It will decide whether the user wants to save the file directly or there is some sort of calculation to be done. Suppose if I am making a word processing file where there is no need of calculation at all, so where will the data go? Then it will directly go from primary device straight to the storage device. As user will press the Ctrl S button, it will move to the secondary storage. When user save the file, then and then only it moves to the storage device, that is your hard disk. Otherwise till then it is lying in your primary device. But let us take the another example. User is not working in Microsoft Word, user is using spreadsheet calculator. In that case what will do? Then in that case, from the storage, primary storage, the control unit will pass on the data to your ALU, because ALU, as name says, it is doing the arithmetic and logical calculations. So all the calculations which you are doing in your spreadsheets will be performed. ALU will do all the calculations. It will come back to the control unit, and once all the calculations are done, at last the data will again come back to your primary memory. User can see the calculated result. Still it is unsaved, the file is not saved by the user, so till it is not saved it keeps lying in the primary, and once you are done you opt to save the file. Once you save the file, it goes to the secondary device, and at last, as I said, you are able to see the output on the screen also. So that is why the output unit is there. And I mentioned earlier, we started with the raw facts. We gave data, that is we kept on typing in the spreadsheet, that was our data, and finally what we get the calculated result on the screen, that is our output. Next topic is IPO cycle. Full form of IPO is input, processing, output. Is, you can see in the diagram, it is unidirectional. Like in the previous diagram it was bidirectional, it was coming from primary to secondary, secondary to primary. Here it is not like this, it is unidirectional. First it will start with input. From input it will move to processing. Once the processing is done by ALU, what actually the processing is? Processing means to convert your raw data into the proper information. What is information? Information is processed data, and at last output, that is your calculated answer, what we see on the screen. What is the definition of output? That is the information output so that user can see the results. And finally it comes to the last part called storage. This is simply the same diagram what we saw backside. It has been sort made. Backside we saw the same things, 5 components of the computers. They were input, processing, storage, output, and lastly the communication device. The same has been converted into another form, IPO cycle. I hope you like this video, and thank you very much for watching.